Shalom. All right, this is your brother Samak coming to you with another lesson. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, so I wanted to talk about trimming your lamp. All right, and what does it mean to trim your lamp? All right, well, when you go through Matthew, the 25th chapter, you read from the first down to halfway through the chapter, more or less. It goes into the parable of the virgins. All right, and the parable of the virgins is basically going into the virgins that were ready to go meet their groom, and they had lamps with them. And the wise version, it was 5 wise, 5 foolish. 5 wise, 5 foolish. And the 5 wise, they came with extra oil. All right, so they made sure that they were prepared and ready. They had extra oil. They made sure they were on their watch, so on and so forth. And then you had the foolish. All right, they didn't bring extra oil. They didn't prepare themselves. And then when it came down, they tarried. They spent the night in one area, and then the groom came and told them, it's time to go, pretty much to the wedding. And then the foolish virgins, they woke up, trimmed their lamps. Basically, they made sure that they brought it to a good temperature to preserve the oil, but they also had extra oil, so they were prepared and ready for the travel, no matter how long they had to travel, how long they had to wait, whatever. But the foolish ones, they didn't prepare themselves, so when it came down to it, they didn't have any oil, so they tried to take oil from the wise. And the wise were like, no, I prepared myself, I came ready. Go to the sellers, and buy. Go to the marketplace and buy oil. So then the foolish virgins literally left to go to the to the marketplace to get oil. But while they were gone, the groom came and pretty much was like, "Yep, it's time to go." And at that point, the foolish virgins, they came back and it was like, yo, and then the groom was like, nah, I don't know you. You know what I mean? I know you not. You ain't prepared yourself. All right, so, and when you go into that parable, the understanding of that parable is pretty simple. And the way I break it down in my own words is, all right, the foolish virgins are basically those servants that, didn't really prepare themselves. They knew, and this is more so going into those that are in the knowledge, right? You're in the knowledge. Why? Because Luke the 12th chapter also goes into how the servant that knew his Lord's will but didn't prepare himself. All right, those going into the foolish virgins. All right, you knew the Lord was coming. You knew the signs, right? He told you about the signs, and he told you that he was going to come, right? He didn't tell you the day, but he told you, here are the signs, here's to look for, and I'm going to come. So regardless of that, you need to make sure you're always ready. All right, those are the foolish, but the wise are those that prepared themselves. They kept themselves temperate. All right, they always kept themselves ready, because Yahweh Shai says he's going to come like a thief in the night. All right, in a day and an hour that you don't look for. That's when he's going to come, because he's coming is the element of surprise, like a thief in the night. So you have to make sure you are prepared and that you're staying on your watch. That's why, even with what's going on currently with the war, all right, and it's the war, bro. It's really big, really the beginning of World War III, all right, between Iran and Israel. All right, and these tensions are only going to increase, and other countries are only going to enter into the war. So you have to make sure that you are staying on your watch, because to be in the spirit of Yahweh Shai is to what? Be in the spirit of prophecy. So stay on your watch and make sure that you are temperate in everything that you do. All right, make sure that you observe. You're observing the times. Make sure you're observing, the moons, and you're keeping, you're being obedient. All right, you're watching, you're praying, you're fasting, and you're doing things pretty much that are beneficial into your spirit, that are ultimately going to keep you sane. But if you don't do these things, well, guess what? You are going to pretty much be caught off guard. You're going to be caught like that thief in the night, all right? And you don't want that. You don't want that smoke. All right, because again, in Luke 12, it says that he that knoweth the will of his father and prepared not himself shall be beaten with many stripes. All right, but the servant that didn't know, right, or the person that wasn't in the truth, they didn't know the prophecies, all right, they're not going to be beaten with as many stripes. They're still going to be beaten with stripes, but not as many stripes. So, prepare yourself. All right, stay on point. And always be in a constant state of growth. Like I always say, you always have to be in a constant state of growth. And when you go into trimming your lamp, right, it signifies preparedness and readiness. All right, the preparedness goes into really just self-evaluation. All right, you are preparing yourself for the impending times to come. And the only thing that's really going to get you delivered is your faith, right? But your works are a testament of your faith. And to be honest, just so like I saw something freaky. I just pulled up to my house, but I got a bunch of like trees and stuff. I just seen something blinking. I think it was a firefly or whatever. But part of your works in showing your faith is self-improvement. You know, you overcoming lust and overcoming temptations and weaknesses and working on them and acknowledging them. That's part of your growth. That's part of your preparedness, as well as just you being engulfed in the word and in prophecy. Because when you're in the word, when you're engulfed in the word, in the spirit, your level of faith and your energy levels will be higher, right? Because naturally, what do they say in the world? You are what you eat, right? You are what you consume. And that goes into mentally and physically, all right? Mental and spiritual, I'll pin in the same boat. So spiritually and mentally, spiritually, and physically. What you consume physically, meaning your diet, right? Your lifestyle. Those things directly affect your energy and your mood and how you feel. Therefore, what? To be a man of the Lord, you should be eating a clean diet. You should be eating, lawful proteins. You should be eating fruits, veggies, herbs, nuts, seeds, all right? Healthy grains, right? Stay away from the processed grains. Right? That's how you should be eating. You shouldn't be over consuming. You should be practicing intermittent fasting, practicing actual fasting, right? 24, 36, 48, whatever. I have to do better with that. I've been saying to myself that I'm going to do a 24 to 36 hour fast every single week on the same day. And I just have to figure out with my lifestyle and my schedule which day works for me consecutively. And even if I got to change it month after month, as long as I can stick to it for, 4 to 6 weeks or whatever. You need to be practicing temperance, right? And control. One thing that I've been doing recently, I just started last week. I've been doing dopamine detoxes, which pretty much I pick a day, usually it's a Shabbat, and I'm gonna be honest, for the so many years that I've been practicing the truth and rehearsing the righteous acts, my Shabbats have been very relaxed and chill, but I haven't completely separated myself from folly in the world. Meaning, I'll still I may still watch certain TV shows. I may still go on social media and I'll watch certain things. I'll be in the spirit, but I have a balance. But that kind of balance is good on the day-to-day. But what I've been trying to do is that with the Shabbats, I'll dopamine detox and I'll completely void out all type of entertainment and folly. It's either I'm reading, I'm listening, or I'm thinking. You know what I mean? And that's it. What I do is I like to walk. I've been walking a lot, and not even for exercise, just for it's therapeutic. And I work a long shift, 12 hours, and I work on a truck, like an ambulance. So when I'm in downtime and I'm sitting outside of hospitals, what I'll do is, and a lot of times now, I'll go take a 10, 15, 20-minute walk, sometimes 30-minute walk, and I'll get a good 2 to 3 of those in a 12-hour period, which is because I still walk, but just walking through the neighborhoods. And I work in a suburb of Philadelphia for the most part. And sometimes I work out in actual suburbs outside of Philadelphia. So I'm walking through neighborhoods, and it's trees, and it's nice houses, nice scenery. So it's really therapeutic. So that's a good practice. That's part of you practicing temperance, and it goes into your preparedness. All right, and it goes into your readiness. All right, and then being ready really just goes into you just being in a spiritual state of mind. You believing on Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and you believing that if you continue to just do the work, pray, self-evaluate, self-reflect, and repent, and you just genuinely try to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be, and you just do the work, that the Most High will deliver you. You have to believe that, because there are people out here who are not doing anything for the Lord. So what more you? All right, so have faith in that. Trim your lamps. All right, and practice the things that I've talked in the video. Lord willing, you will edify. Till next time. Shalom.